Velma and Fimmer are together. Louis is sleeping, which is the only reason Zimmerman hasn't been murdered in Blackjack's township yet. Will that love actually survive the hatred between Zimmerman and Louis? Blackjack's township is barely a speck on the map, and the only thing holding it together is Velma and Fimmer. Bear sleeps soundly, blissfully unaware of the chemfuel ghosts lurking in the forest shadows. While Zimmerman sleeps off his cowardice, you should hit subscribe to Game Change. Otherwise, the only thing more tragic than this colony's survival will be your missed notifications. Louis is cleaning dirt, which is great, because scrubbing floors is the only thing stopping him from killing Zimmerman. Louis scrubbing amniotic fluid is almost peaceful before the Rim decides to ruin this. Zimmerman is enjoying a simple meal, probably imagine exactly how he'd poison it for his rival. Zimmerman is sowing potato plants, pretending this meager outpost isn't one bad mood away from a blood. Look at Velma training Mega Sloth 1. It's almost sweet if you ignore the ticking time bomb next door. Velma is trying to train Mega Sloth 1. Louis holding a simple meal to a wooden small crate. Let's hope the beast is more cooperative than the people in this township. Small steps toward a grander, inevitable disaster. Louis hauls granite for the bunkers while Zimmerman watches, both oblivious to the raiders circling Blackjack's township.
My hands are blistering already.
Fimmer and his partner are playing house while Louis waits for a reason to punch the guy stacking stones. Velma is chipping away at granite. Will the love between her and Fimmer actually be enough? Velma keeps hacking at that granite while Zimmerman and Louis just wait for the first excuse to fight. Zimmerman is sowing potatoes, though his mutual hatred for his co-worker is the only thing actually growing. Zimmerman is in high spirits, probably imagining the look on his rival's face when the first punch lands. A meager outpost and a lover's bond. Velma's granite digging is the only thing keeping Blackjack's township grounded. Bear and his husband are playing happy couple as if marriage actually provides security in Blackjack's township. Look at Velma hacking at granite. This is the peak of excitement for the southwestern Kozarum. Zimmerman stares at Louis, wondering if a well-placed blow would be faster than waiting for the end.
Try it.
Lewis hacks at an oak tree, wondering how much effort it would take to bury Zimmerman beneath it.
I'm armed.
Zimmerman is harvesting potatoes, pretending he doesn't want to strangle Luis for simply existing. A single fertilized egg carried by a space pirate is currently the most precious thing in Blackjack's township. Luis hauling potatoes to a wooden crate. Zimmerman is foraging, likely to imagine an exact spot to bury his rival in the dirt. A peaceful scene until the Rim decides it's time for chaos.
Carry those potatoes faster, Fenev.
Keep barking orders and I'll carve a new mouth into your face with this knife, Zimmer.
Velma scrapes at compacted plasteel, oblivious to the lethal static humming between the two.
Rotten hell. I'm done.
Luis hauling wood to a crate is the only thing keeping Blackjack's township from imploding today. Behold the romance of Velma and Fimmer while the defector plants rice to distract himself from homicide. Luis hauls survival meals to a crate while Zimmerman watches with a smile that promises. While Velma digs at compacted plasteel, the two men are just one wrong look away from a brawl. Luis is cooking a simple meal, the peak of achievement for this pathetic little excuse of a settlement. Zimmerman is feeling great, which is usually the first sign that someone is about to get murdered. With Luis relaxing socially, one has to wonder, how long can this... Luis is relaxing socially, which is just a polite way of saying he's picking the perfect moment to kill Zimmerman. Zimmerman is hunting hare, but can this meager place survive the hatred he and Luis heart? Velma tosses horseshoes, probably wondering how many of them she'd need to shut Luis up for good. Velma throws horseshoes, the metallic clink masking the sound of two men imagining each other's demise. Velma's horseshoes clink while something predatory stalks the forest edge, waiting for Blackjack's township to tear itself apart. Zimmerman is praying, probably begging for a miracle before he finally snaps.
Tossing horseshoes looks easy.
Fimmer and his lover share a bond that's about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Luis is hauling light leather to the stockpile, likely imagining it as a shroud for Zimmerman. Zimmerman is sleeping, momentarily pausing the deathmatch with Luis for a few hours of blissful ignorance. While Luis sleeps off his hatred, you should hit subscribe to Game Changer before this whole disaster becomes a highlight reel. Trust me, you won't want to miss the moment Zimmerman finally snaps. Bear and Zimmerman share a brief, soft peace while the rest of Blackjack's township just holds its breath. Velma is sleeping, blissfully unaware that Blackjack's township is just a meager outpost one bad mood from imploding. Bear and his husband are actually getting along, which is the only thing keeping this outpost functioning. Zimmerman is dutifully hauling wood to a crate, pretending he and Luis aren't one spark from a brawl. Velma is resting, probably dreaming of livestock that doesn't have a personality disorder. A wooden crate takes shape under the hands of a defector who is far too cheerful for his own good.
Crate's almost done. Hungry?
I'm eating right now.
Zimmerman harvesting rice, almost forgetting that he and Luis are just one bad day from murder. Velma and Fimmer share a gaze, wondering if their love can actually outlast this pathetic excuse for a town. "25 days in, and Bear's husband is still smiling while Velma hacks away at a slab of granite. Gathering Megasloth wool is a peaceful chore, provided Bear's husband doesn't give the pirate a reason to snap. A grizzly bear is hunting Zimmerman for food. In a place this fragile, the only thing more certain than the hatred Luis feels for him is the bear's hunger.
Drop the wool. Now Fanev.
Make me, you coward.
Zimmerman is actually playing lookout for once, but for the love of the rim, hit subscribe to Game Changer before Luis finally snaps and turns this stream into a crime scene.
Keep talking. See what happens.
Zimmerman is harvesting rice with a smile, but will Luis ever stop wanting to kill him? Blackjack's township is a meager outpost, and with Velma's mood the only high point, the odds look grim.
You're too much of a pathetic wimp to do anything, so get back to your rice before I lose my patience for good.
Velma hacks at granite while something monstrous watches from the forest, waiting for the fence to fail. Luis gathers rice, though his real hunger is for Zimmerman's throat. Zimmerman and Bear are happily married, which is a lovely distraction from the fact that Luis wants him dead. Almost a month of struggle, and all this effort just to watch Zimmerman smooth a wall.
Save some for me.
Nothing says high society living in Blackjack's township like watching a space pirate scrub the floor. Lewis and his favorite target are one breath away from a brawl while Velma polishes a wall. Zimmerman is tidying up the masonry, probably just to give Bear something pretty to look at before the collapse. As Velma smooths a wall, one wonders which will shatter first. Lewis watches that defector polish stone, both of them just waiting for the first punch to land. "25 days of agony, and Luis is spending his peak years scrubbing filth. Peak efficiency. Almost a month in, and Velma is crafting a dining chair as if furniture makes this place a home.
Keep your pot, Fanev.
Lewis is researching, but will his findings actually stop him from punching Zimmerman in the face?
Call me that again, Floyd, and I'll see how well you remember the feeling of this plasteel edge in your throat.
Velma is digging at granite because apparently that's the grand reward for surviving this disaster.
Try it, you coward.
I've got wood to haul, so get back to your hole before I decide to stop talking and start cutting.
Fimmer and their partner's romance is the only thing in Blackjack's township that isn't a complete disaster. Zimmerman is feeling bright, blissfully unaware of the raiders circling Blackjack's township. The defector is currently assembling a wooden crate, probably the only thing he's actually useful for. Zimmerman is eating a simple meal while Lewis looks like he's about to end the defector's career. Velma and Fimmer share a rare quiet tenderness before the Void decides to ruin everything. Lewis hauls granite for a future bunker while something hungry watches Blackjack's township from the forest edge.
These granite blocks are heavier.
While Luis prepares dinner and tries not to murder Zimmerman on camera, maybe you'll throw a donation to GameChanger to keep this disaster show running. Seriously, pay up or this meager outpost is as good as dead.
Maybe if you weren't such a fragile little wimp, a few pieces of rock wouldn't make you.
Almost a month in, and Velma is actually relaxing while Luis and his rival practically vibrate with hatred. Zimmerman and Bear are married, which is the only thing keeping this meager outpost from complete collapse. Zimmerman and his rival are just one wrong glance away from a total meltdown in Blackjack's township. Velma's hunting hares for dinner while Zimmerman and his favorite person almost kill each other. Pure bliss. Zimmerman is out hunting turkey, probably the only time he's actually useful to the southwestern Kozarin. Look at this. Bear's husband is hunting turkey while I is likely imagining his demise. Luis is researching, probably looking for a way to kill Zimmerman without Bear noticing. Luis and the Defector are a hair's breadth from a brawl. Pure cinematic hatred. Luis is researching, and the silence in Blackjack's township feels like a countdown. Velma and Fim are in love, which is a lovely distraction while the rest of Blackjack's township simmers. Velma and Fim are a playing house, blissfully ignoring the inevitable carnage Gaston's world always provides. Another day down. Velma is finally asleep, leaving Zimmerman and his rival to simmer in mutual loathing. Bear's husband sleeps, a momentary truce in the fragile peace of Blackjack's township. Zimmerman is in high spirits, which is exactly why the air feels like a tripwire. Folks, if you want to see whether Luis finally snaps and murders Zimmerman, hit that donate button for Game Changer to keep this disaster broadcast running. A meager outpost held together by a prayer while Luis and Zimmerman practically vibrate with mutual hatred. Zimmerman eats a simple meal, a pathetic peak of achievement for this miserable little hole. Velma's training Mega Sloth 1, a rare spark of productivity in this desolate little corner of Gaston's world. Luis is whipping up a simple meal, probably imagining it's the last thing he'll ever cook. Nearly a month in, and the peak of progress is just hauling steel to a vent. Velma is spending her morning trying to teach Mega Sloth 1 some manners. It's a refreshing change of pace from the usual tension at Blackjack's township. Lewis is butchering something, which is great, provided he doesn't decide Zimmerman is the next carcass. Lewis is hacking away at a carcass, while some ancient chem fuel refinery waits to invite a raid.
Keep dreaming, Finev.
Shut it. I'm hauling wood.
Behold Blackjack's Township, a meager outpost where Velma's battle with compacted plasteel is the only winning play. Lewis gathering potatoes is the pinnacle of achievement for this miserable little hole in the woods. Zimmerman and Lewis are one bad look away from a brawl while Rice gets hauled.
Sowing rice is faster for Nev.
Zimmerman is planting rice, pretending the tension between Velma and her rival isn't about to explode. Can Velma and Luis ever find peace, or is this fragile silence just a countdown to the first punch? "26 days of struggle, and Fimmer's lover is still just scratching at compacted plasteel. Zimmerman is out there cutting crops, while Fimmer and his lover try to ignore the looming violence. Nearly a month in, and Bear's husband is still just another part of this dysfunctional, weary little family. Nearly a month of misery, and Velma and Luis still haven't figured out how to not hate each other.
Workshop is too cramped.
Bomber's decided to stick around Blackjack's township, which is great because we desperately need someone who isn't currently trying to murder Luis or hiding behind a granite wall.
Deal with it. I'm digging.
Fimmer and his lover hold on to each other, the only warmth in this wasteland of a home. Velma is hacking at plasteel, which is probably the only thing keeping her from punching Luis in the face. Velma is currently scraping at compacted plasteel purely to avoid staring at the space pirate. Zimmerman is resting, blissfully unaware that the air in Blackjack's township is thick with pure, unfiltered hatred. Fimmer's lover eats a simple meal while the air in southwestern Kujran tastes like a coming fight. Fimmer just wants one night where Velma's love outweighs the venom she feels for Lewis. If you enjoy watching Luis and Velma play a game of chicken with their Sandy, hit that like button for Game Changer. Luis watches the sleepers, a jealous pirate wondering which bond will snap first in Blackjack's township. Let's see if this dumpster fire survives the night. Look at this. Velma and her pirate rival are just one bad dream away from a brawl. With Fimmer dreaming of love, will the hatred between the others finally burn Blackjack's township down? Lewis sleeps, likely dream of the day he finally punches that woman's smug face. With a livestock farmer asleep, how much longer can the southwestern Kuzran endure this silence? Zimmerman is chasing a guinea pig while his companions practically vibrate with mutual hatred. Zimmerman is hunting a guinea pig while Velma and Luis just wait for an excuse to fight. Luis is cloud watching, blissfully unaware of how quickly the Rim usually ruins a quiet morning in Blackjack's township. Another day in the forest, and Velma's meditating, perhaps hoping for a peace that Gaston's world won't provide. Bear probably wonders if hauling wood for a pot is the only thing keeping his husband sane. Look at them. Fimmer and his lover, a rare flicker of something genuine in this wreck. Luis is butchering something, and the sound of the blade is the only thing filling the void.
Clean up that blood, Fenev.
Zimmerman is smoothing the floor, polishing the deck of a sinking ship called Blackjack's Township. Velma smoothing the floor while the southwestern Kojran bets on this meager outpost's inevitable crash. Bold strategy.
Fine. I'll just work.
About time you did.
Behold the domestic bliss of Zimmerman and Bear while Luis fumes in the background. Pure poetry.
Shut your mouth, Velma.
Make me. Get back to work.
Velma is smoothing the floor, meticulously scrubbing the surface where Lewis will eventually bleed. While Zimmerman and Bear hold on to each other, will Velma and her rival actually survive the week? Smoothing the floor is the only thing keeping the peace between these two. A fragile, useless truce. Cleaning rock rubble is a thrilling way to spend the afternoon while avoiding a fistfight.
You missed a spot, Fenev.
Look at this. A former pirate scrubbing dirt just to avoid killing someone. Riveting stuff, really. Smoothing the floor is a great way to ignore the fact that the air is thick with hatred. Zimmerman is polishing the floor, desperately pretending Lewis isn't about to punch his teeth in. Velma's tiding is a lovely touch, almost distracting us from the fact that Lewis and Zimmerman are basically breathing fire. Velma and Fimmer share a rare quiet warmth while something hungry prowls the forest edge. Zimmerman is polishing floors while Lewis vibrates with pure rage. Hit subscribe to Game Changer before this fragile piece shatters into a bloodbath. Lewis scrubbing grime is a peaceful scene until the Rim decides this particular piece is far too boring. Zimmerman smoothing the floor, trying his best to ignore the fact that Luis is still breathing. Velma digs into compacted plasteel, carving out a foundation for whatever disaster comes next for Blackjack's township. As Zimmerman and Bear cling to their marriage, will this compacted plasteel ever actually yield to the digging? Lewis is hauling rice, probably imagining it's the only thing in Blackjack's township that doesn't hate him. Look at Bear and his husband. A sweet bond provided the others don't kill each other first. Zimmerman is harvesting rice, trying his best not to let the sheer hatred for Lewis ruin the crop. Velma scraping at compacted plasteel. The only sound in this godforsaken silence. Zimmerman is finally asleep, giving Luis a brief blissful break from the urge to commit homicide.